Your old self is not your friend. It's your biggest enemy wearing a familiar face. That version of you knows exactly how to keep you small. It whispers, "You've done enough." It tells you to rest when you haven't earned it. It talks you out of doing the very things that could change your life. And the worst part? You believe it because it sounds like you. It sounds safe. It feels comfortable. But that voice, that old identity, has been robbing you of progress, one excuse at a time. You've lived enough years on repeat. Same mornings, same habits, same talk about someday. Deep down, you already know, if nothing changes inside you, nothing changes around you. The truth is, life doesn't get better by wishing. It gets better by deciding that you're done living as a weaker version of who you are. This isn't motivation, it's a reality check. It's raw, it's uncomfortable, and it's exactly what you've needed to hear. Because this is the moment you stop negotiating with your old self and start becoming the person you've always said you would be. Stay here, because after this, you won't be the same again. Number 1, stop protecting your comfort and let your weakness die today. The truth about growth is simple, but hard to swallow. Every one of us has two versions inside, one that wants to move forward and one that wants to stay exactly where we are. The strong one wants to wake up early, build discipline, push limits, and create something real. The weak one wants comfort, excuses, and short-term pleasure. And the battle between those two happens every single day. In 2026, you can't afford to keep protecting the weak version anymore. It's time to make a decision to let it die. That weak version of you loves comfort. It loves the couch, the endless scrolling, the empty promises, and the small talk about what you'll one day become. It loves pretending that tomorrow will be different, even though tomorrow is built by what you do today. You've lived with that voice for years, the one that whispers, "Take it easy, you deserve a break." But deep down, you know that voice has been holding you back from everything you could be. The reason most people never grow isn't because they lack talent or opportunity. It's because they protect their comfort more than they protect their potential. They build routines around feeling safe. They build excuses to avoid feeling challenged. And slowly, without realizing it, they stop demanding more from themselves. That's how the weak version wins quietly, over time, while pretending to be your friend. If you want 2026 to look different, you can't keep feeding that weakness. You can't keep defending your comfort like it's something precious. Comfort is not your friend when it stops you from growing. Every moment you choose what's easy, you reinforce the part of you that settles. And the truth is, the longer you protect that version, the more it grows. It becomes part of your identity. It convinces you that you're doing good enough. But good enough is a slow death to greatness. The change starts when you stop lying to yourself. When you stop saying, "I'll start next week." When you stop calling distractions rest. When you stop telling yourself you're tired when what you really are is undisciplined. You have to become brutally honest about what you've been protecting, because honesty wakes you up. It makes you see how much time has passed while you were being comfortable. There's a certain pain that comes with change. It's not physical, it's emotional. It's the pain of admitting that you've wasted time, that you've played small, that you've hidden behind your potential instead of using it. Most people avoid that pain. They'd rather stay busy pretending they're improving than face the truth about how far they've drifted from their purpose. But growth begins at that exact point, the moment you face the truth about the gap between who you are and who you could be. You've got to understand something. Comfort doesn't care about your goals. Comfort doesn't care about your dreams. Comfort only cares about keeping you the same. That weak version of you will always try to convince you that rest is progress, that distraction is relaxation, that delay is strategy. It will use logic to defend laziness. It will sound reasonable, calm, and smart. You have to take control back. You have to start saying no to that part of you that avoids hard things. You have to feel the discomfort of doing what you don't want to do, and then do it anyway. Discipline doesn't come from motivation, it comes from choice. It comes from doing what's right even when it doesn't feel good. If you only move when you feel inspired, your life will always stay the same. The strongest people are not the ones who always feel ready, they're the ones who act even when they don't. If you want to kill that weak version of yourself, start by changing how you start your day. The weak version hits snooze. The weak version checks the phone before checking the plan. The strong version gets up, moves, and prepares. You can't wake up tired, distracted, and expect to live with purpose. Each morning is a choice between progress and regret. You also need to change the people you spend time with. Weak habits grow in weak environments. If you surround yourself with people who complain, who gossip, who never talk about goals, who never push you, you will absorb their energy. You'll start thinking small. You'll start lowering your standards without even noticing. The strong version of you doesn't belong in weak environments. Be around people who make you uncomfortable in a good way. People who remind you that you can do more. People who expect results, not excuses. You've got to develop a level of self-respect that makes laziness feel embarrassing. Stop being proud of trying. Trying means nothing without follow-through. You don't get stronger by talking about what you'll do. You get stronger by doing it every single day, even when no one claps for you. Real growth is quiet. It's built in private, in those moments when no one is watching, when no one cares, and you still choose to do the work. Ask yourself this: how long are you going to keep living below your potential? How many more times are you going to make the same promises and break them? You can't keep waiting for the right time. The right time never comes. The only thing that exists is the decision you make now, right now, because every day you wait, the weak version of you grows stronger. It's either you take control or it takes control of you. The strongest people aren't born that way. They were once weak too. The difference is they decided to stop protecting that weakness. They made the choice to feel uncomfortable, to work when others rested, to learn when others complained, to stay disciplined when others made excuses. They didn't feel special, they just refused to keep living small. You can do the same. You don't have to change your life overnight. You just have to start doing small, hard things daily. Wake up earlier than you want to. Stop wasting hours on your phone. Eat food that fuels your body, not your emotions. Speak truth to yourself when you feel like lying. Train your mind to handle boredom, pain, and challenge without giving up. Every time you win those small battles, you take power away from your weakness. The truth is, killing your weak version isn't about violence, it's about replacement. You don't destroy it by shouting at it. You destroy it by outgrowing it. You create a stronger you through consistent action, through choosing discipline over comfort, through showing up when your feelings tell you not to. You don't wait until you feel ready. You build readiness through movement. There's a power that comes when you take control of your own standards. When you stop being okay with half effort. When you stop calling fear preparation. When you stop making excuses sound intelligent. The moment you decide to demand more from yourself, everything begins to shift. You start walking differently. You start thinking differently. You stop comparing yourself to others because you're too focused on improving who you were yesterday. By the time 2026 ends, you will either be proud of yourself or disappointed again. That's the reality. The outcome depends entirely on the choices you make now. Stop protecting your comfort. It's not helping you. It's killing your potential quietly. And the only way to fight back is to act. Don't talk about being disciplined, prove it. Don't talk about wanting success, earn it. Don't talk about changing your life. Start with one small act today that the weak version of you would never do. When you look back on your life, the question will be simple. Did you let your weakness control your future, or did you have the courage to destroy it before it destroyed you? The answer will not come from your words, it will come from your actions. The weak version of you has had enough time to lead. It has kept you safe, comfortable, and average. But you are not here to live average. You are here to grow, to build, to fight, and to become stronger than your excuses. The strong version of you is waiting to take over. It's been buried under layers of fear, laziness, and doubt. You can bring it out by doing what's hard, by saying no to comfort. You have everything you need to change your life, but you have to stop protecting what's been holding you back. This is your wake-up call for 2026. No more hiding behind comfort. No more giving energy to weakness. No more pretending that tomorrow will fix what you avoid today. The old version of you has to die, not physically, but mentally. The one that makes excuses, the one that avoids growth, the one that keeps promising and never delivering, that version cannot survive if you want to evolve. You've got one job now. Take control of your life and earn your own respect. Not by words, not by plans, but by consistent, quiet action. Every time you show up for yourself, the weak version loses power. Every time you choose what's hard over what's easy, you grow. Every time you push through resistance, you build the strength that comfort could never give you. In 2026, it's not about becoming someone new. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. Once you stop protecting your weakness, stand up, face yourself, do the work, kill that weak version today so that the real you can finally live.
Number 2, face the mirror and confront the part of you that hides. Every person has a moment when the noise stops. No phone, no music, no crowd, just silence. And in that silence, there's a face staring back at you in the mirror. You know that face. You've seen it every day. But the truth is, you haven't really looked at it in a long time. Because when you finally do, you're forced to confront what's real. The parts of you that hide behind distractions, behind excuses, behind stories you keep telling yourself. That reflection doesn't lie. It shows everything you've ignored. When you stand there and face yourself honestly, there's no one left to blame. Not your parents, not your past, not your circumstances. It's just you and the truth. And the truth is heavy. It's uncomfortable. It reveals the small habits that keep you stuck, the promises you've broken to yourself, the dreams you've let fade away. But if you want to grow, you have to stop running from that reflection. Because the person you avoid looking at is the exact person you need to face if you ever want to change your life. Most people never face that part of themselves. They stay busy. They fill every hour with noise and motion. Not because they're productive, but because silence forces them to notice their own weaknesses. They talk about improvement, but never stop long enough to actually see where they're failing. They're scared of what the mirror might say back to them because it doesn't flatter. It doesn't edit. It doesn't care about how many likes you got yesterday. It only shows what's real. When you face the mirror, you see the version of yourself that's been neglected, the one who wanted more but settled, the one who had ideas but never followed through, the one who used to believe in themselves but stopped somewhere along the way. And that realization hurts, but that pain isn't a punishment. It's awareness. It's your chance to finally wake up and do something about it. You can't fix what you refuse to face. There's power in standing still and being honest with yourself. When you look in that mirror, ask questions that make you uncomfortable. Ask, what am I pretending not to see? What habits are destroying my potential? Why do I keep repeating the same mistake? Don't give yourself soft answers. Be direct. Be raw, because that's how you break through the lies you've been telling yourself. Change doesn't start with motivation. It starts with truth. The reason so many people stay stuck year after year is because they live in denial. They build a version of themselves that looks good on the outside, but is falling apart inside. They put on confidence when deep down they're unsure. They talk about discipline, but break every commitment. They show up for everyone but ignore their own goal. And every time they walk past a mirror, a small part of them feels that guilt, that sting of knowing they're not being who they said they would be. If that sounds familiar, it's okay. You're human, but 2026 can't be another year of pretending. You owe yourself more than that. You owe yourself honesty. Look at the mirror and acknowledge the truth, without excuses, without sugarcoating. Maybe you've been lazy. Maybe you've been distracted. Maybe you've let fear run your life. Whatever it is, call it what it is. You can't conquer something you refuse to name. That version of you that hides it doesn't need hate. It needs exposure, because hiding doesn't make it go away. It only makes it stronger. Every time you ignore it, it grows. It gets comfortable living in the dark corners of your mind, whispering things like, you can't, you're not ready, you've failed before. But when you face it head on, when you say, I see you and I'm done letting you control me, it starts to lose power. Awareness kills denial. Facing yourself isn't about feeling guilty. It's about taking responsibility. You can't fix your body if you keep denying how unhealthy your habits are. You can't grow your career if you keep blaming others for why you haven't succeeded. You can't build confidence if you keep lying to yourself about how much effort you're really giving. Everything starts with self-confrontation, not self-criticism, but self-awareness. There's a difference between beating yourself up and holding yourself accountable. One breaks, the other builds you. Accountability says, I can do better, and I will. It says, I'm not proud of where I am, but I'm not staying here. That's the mindset of growth. You're not meant to stay the same. You're meant to evolve. And that starts by seeing yourself clearly. Take a real look at your habits. How much time are you wasting each day? How many promises have you made that you still haven't honored? How often do you let fear decide for you? Be specific. Write it down. Don't say I'll try hard. Say I'll stop scrolling for 2 hours every night and use that time to learn something. Say I'll stop hiding behind I'm tired and actually plan my day. You can't grow through vague promises. You grow through clear decisions. The mirror teaches humility. It reminds you that you're not above your habits. You are your habits. It reminds you that what you do daily matters more than what you say. You can talk about discipline, but if your actions don't match, you're only fooling yourself. Real power is in alignment. When your reflection and your reality match, when who you claim to be and who you actually are start to merge. There's something freeing about facing yourself without filters. Because when you stop pretending, you stop wasting energy maintaining lies. You can finally use that energy to build. You can stop performing and start progressing. You can stop chasing validation and start creating value. You become lighter. You become real. And people can feel that. Authenticity attracts opportunity because it's real. If you've been hiding behind a version of yourself that looks confident but feels empty, this is your time to stop. Take responsibility for the person in the mirror. No one's coming to rescue you. No one's gonna pull you out of your comfort zone. It's your job. You have to decide that you're done living halfway, done faking improvement, done pretending that comfort equals happiness. The next time you look in that mirror, stare long enough for the truth to surface. Don't rush. Stay there until you feel something until the excuses start sounding weak, until the goals you've ignored start to feel urgent again. That's where change begins. In that quiet moment where honesty cuts deeper than motivation ever could. And understand this, facing yourself isn't a one-time act. It's a daily practice. Every morning you meet yourself again. Some days you'll be proud, some days you won't, but every day you get to choose. Do you keep hiding, or do you confront the person you're becoming? Growth isn't about perfection, it's about honesty and effort. When you can say, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm working on it every day, that's real power. The version of you that hides is scared of failing, scared of judgment, scared of effort that doesn't pay off right away. But fear doesn't make you weak. It just shows you where you need courage. And courage isn't a feeling. It's a decision. It's standing there, looking yourself in the eyes and saying, I'm done avoiding the truth. You've got to decide that the person in the mirror deserves better from you. They deserve consistency. They deserve effort. They deserve a chance to become who they were meant to be. And that only happens when you stop hiding and start taking full ownership of your actions. In 2026, your biggest breakthrough won't come from luck or new opportunity. It will come from this moment, from facing the part of you that hides, from stopping the games, the lies, the avoidance. Because once you confront that side of you, everything changes. You stop being at war with yourself. You start living with clarity. You start acting with purpose. You can't build confidence by avoiding the truth. You build it by facing it. You build it by keeping promises to yourself, by doing what you said you'd do, by standing in front of that mirror and being proud, not because you're perfect, but because you're real. You're trying and you're growing. That's what this year demands. Truth, not talk. Action, not excuses. You've been hiding long enough. It's time to come out of your own shadow. Look in that mirror and say, no more pretend. You owe it to yourself to live honestly, to push harder, to grow stronger, to stop hiding behind who you were and finally step into who you are becoming. The mirror doesn't lie. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't give you shortcuts. It gives you a reflection and a choice. Keep hiding from yourself and stay the same, or face yourself fully and finally become the person you've always wanted to see staring back. Number 3, starve your distractions until your focus becomes your weapon. Every person says they want success, but most never get close to it because they can't focus. They are constantly pulled in 1,000 directions, giving little bits of their attention to everything and depth to nothing. The truth is, the world today rewards distraction. It feeds it. Every scroll, every notification, every buzz is a trap designed to steal your time and train your brain to chase the next thing. But if you want to achieve something meaningful in 2026, you have to learn to starve your distractions until your focus becomes your weapon. That means you have to stop feeding what weakens you and start protecting what builds you. Focus is not something you find. It's something you create. It's the product of discipline, clarity, and repetition. Most people think focus is about doing more, but it's actually about doing less. Fewer distractions, fewer unnecessary conversations, fewer mindless habits. The strongest people in the world aren't the busiest. They're the most focused. They don't allow their attention to be controlled by things that add no value to their life. Look at your day honestly. How much time do you actually spend working on what matters? How many hours disappear into entertainment, comfort, or noise? You can't say you want change if you keep living like your time is infinite. You don't need another app, another reminder, or another motivational quote. You need self-control. You need to get serious about what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Your distractions don't look dangerous because they're disguised as harmless fun. But that's what makes them powerful. They don't destroy your life overnight. They chip away at it slowly, quietly. One extra hour on your phone, one more round of scrolling through other people's lives instead of building your own. You tell yourself it's nothing, but those small distractions multiply. Before you know it, months are gone, and your goals haven't moved an inch. When you start starving your distractions, everything changes. You'll feel uncomfortable at first. Your mind will crave the instant hit of stimulation. You'll reach for your phone out of habit, not purpose. You'll feel restless, sitting in silence. But that discomfort is the price of growth. Focus feels strange in a world addicted to noise, but that's how you know you're doing something right. The key is to build systems, not rely on willpower. Willpower fades, systems protect you from yourself. If your phone is your biggest distraction, remove it from your reach when you work. If people waste your time, start saying no more often. If your environment makes you lazy, change it. You can't build focus in chaos. You can't expect discipline in an environment designed for distraction. Create conditions that make focus easier than avoidance. The goal is not to become a machine. It's to become intentional. It's about teaching your brain that not every urge deserves attention. Every time you resist a distraction, you strengthen your focus. Every time you give in, you weaken it. Think of your attention like energy points. You only get a certain amount every day. You can spend them on scrolling, gossip, and junk, or you can invest them in something that makes your life better. Focus grows with use. The more you practice deep work, the longer you can stay in it. But the moment you allow small distractions to interrupt you, your brain resets, and it takes minutes, sometimes hours, to get back into the zone. That's why people spend entire days working, but never actually finish anything. They're always starting over, because they've trained their brain to expect interruptions. If you want to master your focus, protect your attention like it's gold, because it is. Distraction isn't just about phones and media. It's also about emotions, people, and thoughts that pull you away from your mission. Overthinking is a distraction. Doubt is a distraction. Comparing yourself to others is a distraction. You have to decide what deserves space in your mind. The moment you remove what's meaningless, your energy flows toward what's important. Ask yourself this: what are the biggest distractions stealing your progress right now? Be honest. Maybe it's your phone. Maybe it's negative people. Maybe it's your own procrastination habits. Write them down. Name them. Because what you name, you can control. Then make a plan to eliminate them one by one. If you want your focus to be a weapon, you have to cut off everything that dulls its edge. It's not about being perfect. You'll slip up. You'll waste time sometimes. But awareness is everything. The next time you find yourself lost in distraction, stop and ask, is this helping me or holding me back? That one question can change your direction. Most people live reactively. They move from one impulse to another. You have to live deliberately. Every hour has to mean something. Every task has to serve your vision. The moment you start living this way, your confidence grows. You start to feel powerful because you're finally in control of your mind. You don't need to check what everyone else is doing. You don't need to prove anything. You start valuing peace over noise, purpose over pleasure, creation over consumption. You become someone who moves with intention, not impulse. When you cut distractions, you see how much potential you actually have. You realize you never lacked time. You lacked focus. All those ideas you said you didn't have time for suddenly fit into your schedule. You start finishing what you start. You start improving faster. You start building momentum. That's what happens when your focus becomes sharp. It turns into power. But be prepared. Not everyone will understand your discipline. Some people will call you boring. Some will think you're isolating yourself. That's fine. They're addicted to noise. You're choosing clarity. They seek escape. You seek purpose. You can't live for approval and growth at the same time. Pick one. To maintain focus, you need clarity about your goals. Without clarity, you'll always fall for distractions that look important, but aren't. Define exactly what you want from 20. Write it down in detail. Then ask, does this action move me closer to it? If the answer is no, stop doing it. Life becomes simple when you remove what doesn't serve you. You don't need more motivation. You need less noise. Motivation fades when your environment is full of distractions. Focus stays when your world is quiet and clear. Build that environment daily. Wake up with a plan. Work with intensity. Rest with intention. Protect your peace like it's part of your job, because it is. The truth is, focus is freedom. It's the ability to choose where your mind goes, instead of letting the world decide for you. Distractions make you reactive. Focus makes you powerful. When your focus becomes your weapon, you stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. You move with direction. You finish what you start. You live with a sense of control that most people never feel. And that's what this year should be about. Control over your time, your thoughts, your attention. You've spent enough years chasing stimulation. Now it's time to build something that lasts. That starts with starving your distractions. Cut the noise. Limit what you consume. Protect your time like it's sacred. Because once it's gone, you don't get it back. In 2026, make focus your advantage. Make silence your training ground. Make discipline your foundation. Every moment you stay focused, when the world is screaming for your attention, you separate yourself from the majority. You move fast, you grow stronger. You become unstoppable. Not because you know more, but because you're finally in control of yourself. Starve your distractions long enough, and you'll discover something powerful. You don't need constant stimulation. You don't need validation. You don't need to know what everyone else is doing. You just need clarity, discipline, and peace. That's where real success begins. When your focus becomes your weapon, you stop chasing opportunities. You start creating. And that's the difference between those who talk about change and those who actually live it. Number 4, kill the urge to quit when life starts to get heavy. There comes a moment in everyone's journey when life gets heavy, when things stop going your way, when the results don't show up fast enough, when effort starts to feel pointless. It's the moment most people quit. They tell themselves they're taking a break or waiting for the right time. But what they're really doing is surrendering to pressure. You know that moment, it feels like your chest is tight, your mind is tired, and quitting seems like relief. But here's the truth. Every time you quit, when it's hard, you train your mind to surrender faster next time. You make quitting easier and commitment harder. That's why this time has to be different. You've got to kill the urge to quit when life gets heavy, because that's when your real growth begins. You can't expect progress without pressure. Every goal you chase will test your patience, your consistency, and your belief. Life will get uncomfortable on purpose. It's not punishing you, it's preparing you. The struggle isn't there to break you. It's there to reveal whether you actually want what you say you want. Everyone feels strong when things are easy, but the moment things get heavy, that's when your character speaks. That's when you find out what you're really made of. The urge to quit doesn't come from weakness. It comes from exhaustion. It's your mind's way of saying, this hurts, I don't like this. But pain doesn't mean stop. Pain means adapt. It means you're growing into a version of yourself that can handle more. You've just never stayed in the discomfort long enough to see what happens next. Most people quit at 40% of their potential. They stop when it burns, not realizing that if they just stayed in it a little longer, they would break through to a new level of strength. You have to train yourself to push through that mental wall. When your body says, "I'm done," tell it, "I have more." When your mind says, "This is too much," tell it, "I've handled worse." Remind yourself of the moments you thought you couldn't survive, and you still did. You've been through pain before. You've been through stress, loss, disappointment, and yet here you are. You made it. That means you can handle more than you think. You just have to stop quitting before you find out how strong you really are. The reason so many people never reach their full potential isn't lack of ability. It's lack of endurance. They get excited at the start, full of energy and ideas. But the moment it gets hard, they back off. They think difficulty is a sign they're doing something wrong. It's not. It's a sign you're moving forward. Every new level comes with new pressure. And if you can't handle the weight of progress, you'll never see what's on the other side of it. The truth is, quitting often feels easier because it gives you temporary comfort. You feel a rush of relief when you stop trying. You tell yourself maybe it wasn't meant to be, and it calms you for a moment. But that peace doesn't last, because deep down, you know you walked away from something you wanted. You know you took the easy way out. And that feeling eats at you quietly, long after the pressure is gone. Regret lasts longer than struggle, always. You need to start seeing heaviness differently. It's not a sign to quit. It's a sign to focus. When life gets heavy, slow down. Don't stop. Take a breath. Reassess your plan. But keep moving. Progress isn't about speed. It's about persistence. The ones who win aren't the ones who never feel tired. They're the ones who keep going, even when tired becomes normal. They rest, they recover, but they never stop showing up. There will be days when motivation disappears. There will be mornings when you wake up and feel nothing but frustration. There will be nights when you question why you're doing any of this. That's when your decision matters most. Anyone can move forward when they feel good, but can you keep going when your emotions tell you to quit? That's what separates the average from the exception. When things get heavy, remember why you started. Go back to that reason that made you take the first step. Reconnect with that hunger. Because when your why is strong, your pain becomes bearable. You'll start to see struggle as part of the process, instead of a reason to Nothing worthwhile comes without resistance. If it's easy, it's cheap. If it's hard, it's valuable. You also need to stop expecting others to keep you going. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to drag you out of bed, remind you of your dreams, or fight your battles for you. This is your journey, your goals, your responsibility. And when life gets heavy, that's when you prove to yourself that you can stand alone. Because independence isn't built in comfort. It's built in those hard moments when you have no one but yourself to rely on. You must build mental endurance the same way you build physical strength, through repetition. You train your mind to stay calm under pressure by refusing to run every time things get hard. You teach yourself to endure by staying in discomfort longer each time. The more you do this, the stronger you become. Pressure stops feeling like pain and starts feeling like progress. Some days, progress will be invisible. You'll feel like nothing's working. That's when most people give up. But what they don't realize is that change is happening underneath. Every hard day builds something inside you. Patience, resilience, consistency. You may not see it yet, but one day you'll look back and realize those heavy days were shaping you into someone unbreakable. There's a calm that comes from knowing you can handle pressure. It gives you confidence. You stop fearing challenges because you've proven to yourself that you can survive them. You stop seeking comfort because comfort never made you grow. You start to understand that struggle isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. Every time life gets heavy, it's inviting you to get stronger. When you feel the urge to quit, remember this: quitting doesn't remove the weight, it just shifts it. You trade the weight of discipline for the weight of regret. One makes you stronger, the other weakens you. Both are hard, but only one is worth it. Choose the one that builds you. To kill the urge to quit, you need perspective. Ask yourself, what happens if I stop now? Imagine the version of you 6 months from now, knowing you gave up. Feel that disappointment. Then imagine the version of you who kept going through the heaviness, who pushed past it, who didn't break. That's the person you're fighting for. That's who you owe your effort to. Sometimes the weight you're carrying isn't a sign to stop. It's proof that you're building strength. You don't get stronger by avoiding weight. You get stronger by lifting it. Life will always have pressure. You can't escape it. But you can learn to carry it with more confidence. You can build the endurance to stay calm when everything feels hard. You can't avoid heaviness, but you can control how you respond to it. You can either let it crush you or use it to grow. When you feel like quitting, don't look for an escape. Look for the next step. Take a break if you must, but never stop moving. Because once you stop, it gets 10 times harder to start again. You have to develop pride and persistence. Pride in showing up even when it's tough. Pride in not giving in to the urge to quit. That's what builds self-respect. That's what separates dreamers from doers. The longer you stay in the fight, the more power you gain over your emotions. This year, refuse to give up when it's hard. Refuse to take the easy path. Refuse to surrender to pressure. Life will get heavy. That's guaranteed. But heaviness isn't your signal to quit. It's your chance to rise. Because the moment you learn to keep moving under pressure, you become unstoppable. Not because the weight gets lighter, but because you get stronger. And that's what will define your 2026. The moment you stopped quitting and started becoming everything you were meant to be. Number 5, speak to yourself like someone who deserves better effort. The way you talk to yourself is shaping your life more than any book, course, or mentor ever will. The voice in your head, the one you hear every single day, can either destroy your confidence or build your potential. Most people don't realize how often they talk down to themselves. They make mistakes and immediately say, "I'm stupid." They fall behind on their goals and say, "I'll never get it right." They miss a day of progress and tell themselves, "I'll always fail." That voice becomes their reality. They treat themselves like someone unworthy of success. If you want to become stronger, more focused, and more disciplined in 2026, you have to start speaking to yourself like someone who deserves better effort. Because you do. Every person wants improvement, but few know how to support themselves emotionally through it. They're harsh, impatient, and self-destructive. They demand results instantly and punish themselves when they fall short. That kind of thinking doesn't lead to growth. It leads to burnout. You can't build a powerful life on top of self-hate. You can only build it on self-respect. And self-respect starts with how you speak to yourself when things go wrong. You are with yourself all day, every day. You can't escape your own thoughts. So if your inner voice constantly tears you down, you're living with your biggest enemy inside your own head. You need to change that. You need to become the kind of person who talks to yourself the way you talk to someone you care about. When you fail, instead of saying, "I'm useless," say, "I didn't give my best today, but I can do better tomorrow." When you feel tired, instead of saying, "I'm lazy," say, "I need rest so I can come back stronger." The words don't just change how you feel. They change how you act. Think about it. You'd never talk to a friend the way you talk to yourself after a mistake. If your friend failed at something, you wouldn't say, "You'll never succeed." You'd say, "You've got this. Try again." You'd motivate them, remind them of their strengths, and push them forward. So why don't you do the same for yourself? You can't expect to become disciplined, confident, and focused if your inner dialogue is toxic. Encouragement isn't weakness, it's fuel. The right words at the right time can push you through moments of doubt that would otherwise stop you completely. Your mind listens to everything you say. It doesn't know when you're joking or exaggerating. Every insult you throw at yourself gets recorded. And over time, it becomes your belief system. That's why people who constantly say, "I can't," eventually stop trying. They've trained their brain to believe it's true. But the opposite is also true. Speak strength, and your mind starts looking for ways to match it. Speak discipline, and you'll begin to act with discipline. Speak respect, and you'll demand it in every area of your life. This doesn't mean lying to yourself. It means being honest in a way that helps, not harms. Saying, "I'm doing my best," when you're clearly not, doesn't build growth. It builds comfort. But saying, "I can do better and I will," creates accountability with compassion. That's the balance most people never find. They're either too soft and make excuses, or too harsh and lose motivation. You need both truth and kindness. Without truth, there's no progress. Without kindness, there's no endurance. When you speak to yourself with respect, you start expecting more from yourself naturally. You stop tolerating half effort. You stop settling for average. You start showing up differently because your words remind you that you're capable of more. The person who speaks with belief moves differently. They stand taller, think clearer, and act faster. You can hear it in their tone. You can see it in their body language. Confidence begins long before others notice. It begins in private, in the words you whisper to yourself when no one else is listening. If you want better effort, start by improving the conversation you have inside your mind. When you wake up, instead of saying, "I don't feel like it," say, "I'm in control of what I do today." When you fail, instead of saying, "I'm done," say, "That didn't work, but I'm not stopped." When you face fear, instead of saying, "I can't handle this," say, "This will make me stronger." These aren't empty affirmations, they're mental commands. They shift your perspective from helplessness to ownership. You have to realize that effort is emotional before it's physical. If you talk to yourself like someone weak, you'll act weak. If you speak like someone capable, you'll start behaving like it. Every strong person you admire has had moments of doubt, but they didn't feed those doubts. They countered them. They redirected their inner voice toward focus, determination, and action. That's the difference between people who give up and those who grow. Start catching the moments when your self-talk turns negative. Don't just let those thoughts pass by unnoticed. Challenge them. When you hear, "You're not good enough," answer with, "I'm improving every day." When you think it's too hard, answer with, "I can learn how to handle this." It might feel awkward at first, but that's because you've spent years believing lies about yourself. It takes time to unlearn them. But if you stay consistent, your brain will adapt. You'll start believing your new story. Speaking to yourself with respect doesn't make you arrogant. It makes you responsible. It means you're no longer waiting for others to validate you. You become your own source of motivation. That's real power, when you don't depend on anyone to remind you of your worth. Because the truth is, not everyone will see your effort. Not everyone will clap for you. But if you speak strength into yourself daily, you won't need them to. You'll already know your value. When you talk to yourself like someone who deserves better effort, you stop tolerating laziness. You stop wasting time. You stop making excuses. Because you've built a mindset that holds you accountable. You start asking, is this action matching what I say I want? You develop self-respect that pushes you to show up with intensity. Not because you're chasing perfection, but because you refuse to betray your own standards. Imagine what your life would look like if you spoke to yourself with belief every single day. How much harder would you work if you truly felt you were capable? How much faster would you bounce back from setbacks? How much more peace would you have if your thoughts weren't attacking you all the time? That's not fantasy. That's discipline of the mind. Start simple. Every morning say something honest and positive to yourself. Not fake praise, real reminders. Tell yourself, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm moving. Tell yourself, I've made progress, and I'll make more. Tell yourself, I deserve my best effort today. These words are small, but their effect is massive. They plant seeds of belief that grow through every challenge. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for others to speak life into them, waiting for praise, waiting for validation. But the real transformation begins when you start speaking life into yourself. Because the moment you do, your actions start aligning with that belief. You stop living like a victim of your emotions. You start living like a creator of your future. You owe yourself that respect. You've been through too much, overcome too many things, to keep treating yourself like you don't deserve effort. You do. You've earned it. So from now on, make a promise to speak to yourself like someone you care about deeply. Someone worth time, worth discipline, worth love, worth excellence. Because when your words change, your world follows. The power to rise doesn't come from outside. It starts in your language, in the tone you use with yourself, in the way you handle your mistakes and setbacks. Speak like someone who deserves better effort. And soon, your actions will match that belief. That's how you win. Not by perfection, but by mastering the conversation that shapes everything you become.
Number 6, end the habit of waiting for the right time to change. The most dangerous lie we tell ourselves is that there will be a right time. We say we'll start when things calm down, when the money's better, when we feel ready, when life feels stable. And year after year, that right time never comes. It's just an excuse, dressed as logic. The truth is, there is no perfect moment waiting for you. There is only now, this second, this decision, this opportunity to stop delaying your own growth. Waiting feels safe because it allows you to avoid risk. But it's the very thing that keeps you stuck. Every time you wait for the right time to change, you waste time becoming someone you could already be. You don't need more time. You need more honesty. You already know what needs to change. You know the habits that hold you back. You know the people who drain you. You know the routines that keep you average. You just keep postponing the work because comfort feels easier than accountability. You convince yourself that a better version of you will appear magically when conditions improve. But that version won't appear unless you build it right now, right where you are, with what you have. Most people think progress happens when life becomes convenient. But that's not how change works. Real transformation begins in chaos, when everything feels uncertain, when the timing couldn't be worse, because that's when you prove how serious you really are. If you can only grow when things are easy, your growth will always be limited. The strongest people didn't wait for peace before they started. They created it through action. They acted when they were scared, broke, unprepared, and exhausted. They didn't wait to feel ready. They became ready by moving forward. The right time is an illusion. It's the brain's way of avoiding discomfort. It whispers, "You'll start after this event," or "You'll try again next month." But that voice isn't logic. It's fear, pretending to be patience. You think you're being strategic, but you're just stalling. Time doesn't care about your excuses. The days will keep moving whether you act or not. And one day you'll realize that all the tomorrows you planned on using are gone. The most successful people in any area didn't start with certainty. They started with a decision. They didn't know how everything would work out. They didn't have a perfect plan. They just refused to keep waiting. They decided that their life wouldn't change unless they did something now. And that single decision changed everything. Because momentum doesn't come from planning. It comes from start. You've got to stop romanticizing the idea of the right moment, the perfect schedule, the ideal mindset, the fresh start. Those are myths. Life will always be messy. There will always be stress, distractions, and problems. If you can't move forward with imperfections, you'll never move forward at all. You can either use your circumstances as a reason to begin, or as an excuse to delay. But you can't do both. If you want to end the habit of waiting, you have to understand what waiting costs you. It costs you confidence. Every time you say not yet, you teach yourself that you're not capable right now. You lower your belief in your own ability to take action. It also costs you momentum. Every delay kills a bit of your drive. You start losing the urgency that creates change, and it costs you opportunity. While you hesitate, someone else is already doing the thing you're still planning to do. Time moves faster than excuses. The truth is, starting before you're ready builds strength. When you take action in uncertainty, you develop adaptability. You learn how to handle pressure, how to make mistakes and recover, how to figure things out along the way. You stop being paralyzed by fear because you realize nothing gets easier until you start. The waiting doesn't remove fear. It multiplies. The longer you wait, the louder the doubt becomes. You don't need a plan that's perfect. You need courage that's consistent. Every great change in life begins with a small, imperfect step. The first workout, the first budget, the first tough conversation, the first decision to stop blaming and start building. The step itself might look small, but what it represents is massive. It's proof that you're done waiting. Waiting also hides behind phrases that sound reasonable. You'll hear yourself say things like,
I just need more clarity. Or I'm still thinking it through. But most of the time, you're not thinking. You're stalling. You're analyzing your dreams to death. You're studying success instead of pursuing it. You're convincing yourself that preparation equals progress, when it's just another form of procrastination. Planning has value, but over-planning is fear disguised as intelligence. If you really want to change, pick one small thing and start now. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need proof that you can take action. When you act, even in tiny ways, you build self-trust. You prove to yourself that you're capable of following through. And once you trust yourself, everything else becomes easy. Because now you're not depending on motivation. You're depending on self-respect. Think about how many opportunities you've already missed because you waited for the right time. How many chances slipped through your hands because you wanted everything to feel perfect first. That pattern has to end. The longer you wait, the more momentum you lose, the more comfortable you get with inaction. Waiting becomes a habit, and like any habit, it grows stronger the longer you feed it. You have to decide that now is your time. Not tomorrow, not after the holiday, not when you have more confidence, or money, or support. Now, because later is just a softer word for never. The people who make real progress aren't the smartest or the luckiest. They're simply the ones who act when everyone else hesitates. They stop overthinking and start executing. They understand that every second spent waiting is a second that could have been spent growing. Stop telling yourself stories that make delay sound logical. There's no better version of you waiting to appear later. There's only the version you build through action today. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start and keep starting every day. When you act first, clarity comes later. The path reveals itself once you're moving, but you'll never see it while standing still. If you catch yourself waiting for motivation, motivation doesn't come before action. It comes after it. You don't feel motivated to move. You move, and then the energy comes. You feel progress, and that fuels you to keep going. That's how you build momentum. The people who wait to feel ready never understand this truth, and that's why they stay in the same place for years. You owe yourself progress. You owe yourself effort. You owe yourself the chance to find out what would happen if you stopped waiting and started acting. Life won't reward your intentions. It rewards your movement. You can plan all day, but until you take that first uncomfortable step, nothing changes. The right time to change is always the same. It's when you're tired of your own excuses. It's when you finally admit that waiting hasn't helped you at all. It's when you realize that you can't keep delaying the life you want because of fear, doubt, or uncertainty. Those things won't go away. You just have to act despite them. That's how confidence is built. Not before action, but during it. This year can be the year everything shifts for you, but only if you stop postponing your own breakthrough. The right time will never show up at your door. You have to create it with your actions, your choices, and your consistency. Every day you wait is a day you'll wish you had started sooner. So stop waiting for the right time. Start now. Take control of your life today, not someday. Because someday is a dream, and today is your only chance to make it real. Number 7. Challenge the easy version of you every single morning. Every morning gives you 2 choices: to wake up as the same person you were yesterday, or to challenge the easier version of yourself that wants another day of comfort. That easy version of you doesn't want change. It wants 1 more hour of sleep, 1 more day of excuses, 1 more reason to stay average. It hides behind "I'll do it later" and calls it logic. It wants to avoid effort because effort exposes weakness. But that version of you has been running the show for too long. And every time you give in, it grows stronger. If you want to create a different life, you have to start defeating that easy version of yourself the moment you open your eyes. The battle begins the second you wake up. Your mind will try to pull you back into comfort. It will say, 5 more minutes. It will tell you, you're too tired. But those few minutes decide everything. Because if you start your day with weakness, the rest of your day will follow that tone. You can't expect a powerful day from a weak start. The strong version of you wins by standing up when the easy version wants to lie down. It's not about waking up early. It's about taking control early. You don't need to do something extreme to win your morning. You just need to do something hard enough to remind yourself that you're in charge. It might be getting out of bed without hitting snooze. It might be doing that workout when you don't feel like it. It might be journaling instead of scrolling through your phone. The point is to start the day proving that you run your thoughts, not the other way around. Because once you do, your entire mindset shifts. Discipline is not built in the big moments. It's built in the small, repetitive choices that happen when no one is watching. Every time you choose challenge over comfort, you build strength. Every time you choose comfort, you build weakness. You can't build both at once. The person you become by the end of 2026 will be the result of which version you feed more. The one that takes charge or the one that settles. You need to realize that the easy version of you will never go away completely. It doesn't die. It waits. It waits for tired days, for stressful days, for days when you don't feel like doing anything. It waits for moments of doubt. And that's when you must be aware enough to catch it. You can't silence it with talk. You silence it with action. When you do the thing you don't want to do, you remind that voice who's in control. Challenge is uncomfortable, but it's the only thing that makes you grow. You'll never know your strength if you keep avoiding struggle. Every person you admire has built their success on moments when they didn't feel like trying, but they did anyway. That's what separates the committed from the comfortable. You can't pray for a better life while protecting your laziness. You can't demand results while running from resistance. Every morning before you check your phone or start thinking about problems, check your mindset. Ask yourself, am I leading my day or letting it lead me? That question alone can shift how you approach everything. Because if you don't set the tone for your morning, the world will do it for you with distractions, stress, and noise. But if you take control early, you stay centered no matter what comes. The easy version of you always seeks pleasure before progress. It says, you've earned a break. It convinces you that slow mornings are peaceful when, in truth, they're wasted. You don't need peace, you need purpose. You don't need easy, you need effort. The more you challenge yourself in the morning, the stronger you become against every temptation that tries to derail you throughout the day. When you start your morning by doing something difficult, everything else feels lighter. You build momentum. You stop reacting and start creating. That early victory sets a tone that carries through the rest of the day. You start to expect more from yourself, not because someone told you to, but because you've proven you can. You build quiet confidence through consistent action. The goal isn't perfection. Some mornings you'll win, and some you won't. But the habit of showing up, even when you don't feel like it, is what transforms you. You don't fail because you miss one day. You fail because you stop trying. You build strength one morning at a time. Over time, those small wins compound. You'll notice that you handle stress better. You think clearer. You react slower. You stop being tossed around by your emotions. That's what growth feels like. It's calm, not chaos. When you challenge yourself early, you stop giving the easy version of you a chance to lead. You replace hesitation with movement. You replace I can't with I will. And every time you do that, your brain learns a new pattern. It starts expecting effort. It starts craving progress. It starts associating discipline with pride instead of pain. You have to start viewing mornings as your foundation. If your foundation is strong, your day can handle anything. If it's weak, everything crumbles. The easy version of you loves to start slow because it knows momentum is power. Once you get moving, you're hard to. That's why you have to break the cycle of hesitation right at the beginning. The first 30 minutes of your day can either set you free or trap you in the same pattern you've been trying to escape. It's not about waking up early for the sake of it. It's about waking up on purpose. When you open your eyes, remind yourself that this is another chance to win, to grow, to outwork the person you were yesterday. Every day you do this, you build self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of everything. You can't fake confidence. You can't pretend discipline. You earn it through choices that no one sees but you. Stop treating your mornings like they don't matter. Stop thinking you'll be stronger later in the day. You won't. The strength you need starts with your first decision. When you conquer that first challenge, whether it's getting out of bed, finishing a workout, or focusing on a goal, you prove that you're in charge. That power carries into every part of your life. The truth is, you already know what the easy version of you looks like. You've seen it before. It hits snooze. It wastes time. It avoids effort. It complains when things get hard. You don't need to analyze it. You need to challenge it. Replace every soft habit with a strong one. Replace waiting with action. Replace excuses with results. If you can win your mornings, you can win your life. Because how you start determines how you finish. You don't have to change everything overnight. You just have to decide that each morning is a new fight, and you're done losing it. Show up for yourself, push when it's hard, move when it's uncomfortable. The easy version of you will always whisper, rest, but the stronger version will always say, rise. Listen to that voice. It's the one trying to pull you toward the person you were meant to become. So tomorrow morning, when the alarm goes off and the easy version of you starts talking, don't negotiate, don't argue, just act. Stand up, move, and start doing something that demands effort. Because the day you stop letting the easy version win is the day everything starts to change. Every challenge you take on builds proof. Proof that you're capable. Proof that you can lead yourself. Proof that you can control your mind, your body, and your future. Each morning is a test, and how you answer it determines who you become. The easy version of you will always exist, but so will the strong one. The question is, which one will you choose to feed today? Number 8, replace self-pity with small actions that build real strength. There comes a point when feeling sorry for yourself stops being comforting and starts being a trap. We've all had moments where life hits hard, where things fall apart, where people disappoint us, where effort doesn't seem to matter. In those moments, self-pity sneaks in and tells you it's okay to stop trying. It whispers that life is unfair, that you've done enough, that it's fine to sit back and feel bad for yourself. But that voice isn't helping you. It's keeping you small. The truth is, self-pity feels safe, but it steals your strength. You can't grow from the same place that broke you. The only way out is through small, consistent actions that remind you of your power. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control what you do next. You can control how you respond, how you move, how you rebuild. The problem is that self-pity convinces you to wait until you feel better before you act. But feelings don't create progress. Actions do. If you want to build real strength, you have to move even when it hurts. You have to do something, no matter how small, to prove to yourself that you still have control. That's how you take your power back. Strength doesn't come from pretending everything is fine. It comes from accepting that things are hard and moving anyway. It comes from deciding that pain isn't an excuse. It's a signal to grow. When you stop feeding your sadness and start feeding your effort, something changes. You stop feeling like a victim and start feeling like a fighter again. The moment you take even the smallest action, the weight begins to lift. Because motion creates energy, and energy builds confidence. You have to start where you are, not where you wish you were. Maybe your life isn't what you expected right now. Maybe things haven't gone your way. But sitting in self-pity won't fix that. You can't heal by replaying what hurt you. You heal by building habits that make you stronger than what broke you. Get up and do one thing today that makes you feel alive again. Go for a walk, clean your space, read something that challenges your mind, call someone who makes you think bigger. Small steps may not seem like much, but they're proof that you're still fighting. Self-pity is addictive because it makes you feel justified. It tells you you've been through enough. You deserve a break. It feeds on your pain until it becomes your identity. You start believing that you're the kind of person bad things happen to, but you're not. You're the kind of person who can rise from anything if you stop letting pain define you. You can't build strength by rehearsing your suffering. You build it by replacing that story with action, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. Every time you choose action over pity, you train your mind to see yourself differently. You stop seeing yourself as helpless. You stop saying, why me? And start saying, what now? That shift changes everything. It gives you momentum. It makes you realize that progress doesn't require perfection. It only requires movement. A walk is better than sitting still. One page read is better than none. One healthy meal is better than another day of junk. Change is built from small acts that seem too simple to matter. But over time, they build discipline, self-respect, and resilience. The truth is, No one is coming to pull you out of self-pity. People can encourage you, but they can't live. You have to be the one who decides that enough is enough. You have to say, I'm tired of feeling stuck, and then do something about it. Life won't get lighter because you complain. It gets lighter because you get stronger. The best therapy is progress. The best motivation is proof. If you want to know how strong you are, watch how you act when things don't go your way. It's easy to work hard when life feels good. It's easy to stay focused when results show up fast. But when life gets hard, when your efforts go unnoticed, when the world feels heavy, that's when your real character appears. You can either sink deeper into self-pity or stand up and take responsibility for your energy. You can't wait for confidence to appear. You create it by earning it. Start building habits that make you proud of yourself again. Not big ones. Small, simple ones you can sustain. Wake up and make your bed. Exercise for 10 minutes. Write down 3 things you can control today. These small actions are not random. They are structured. They are reminders that your life is still in your hands. Once you begin stacking small wins, the feeling of control returns. And when you feel in control, your mindset shifts from hopeless to determined. Stop comparing your struggle to someone else's highlight. That comparison feeds self-pity. You see other people's progress and assume they had it easier. You don't see their battles. You don't see their failures. You don't see their moments of doubt. Strength isn't about not falling. It's about refusing to stay down. Everyone hurts, but not everyone uses that pain as fuel. Real strength is built in silence. It's built when no one sees you trying. It's built when you push yourself to move forward after another disappointment. Every time you choose to act instead of complain, you sharpen your mindset. You start seeing challenges differently. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You start asking, what can I learn from this? That question shifts you from powerless to powerful. You have to stop believing that the world owes you ease. It doesn't. Life isn't fair, but it's also not fair. You can always change your direction, no matter how far you've fallen. The problem is that self-pity keeps you facing backward, staring at what you lost. Action turns you forward, focused on what you can still gain. One step forward in pain is worth more than 1,000 steps in comfort. You also need to understand that strength isn't built overnight. It's built through consistency, through showing up again and again, even when it doesn't seem to work. Every small action compounds over time. You might not see results immediately, but change is happening underneath. Your mindset is shifting, your habits are improving, and your inner dialogue is getting stronger. You're building quiet confidence that can't be faked or taken away. The reason small actions matter so much is because they rebuild trust. When you follow through even on little things, you remind yourself that you can depend on you. And when you trust yourself, self-pity loses its grip. Because pity says, you're not enough. Action says, watch me prove you wrong. You owe it to yourself to replace every thought of pity with a decision. Don't let your emotions dictate your effort. You can feel hurt and still move. You can feel tired and still try. You can feel lost and still take one step. That's real strength. Not the absence of pain, but the refusal to let pain define you. So stop sitting in the same story. Stop giving energy to what broke you. You're not weak for falling. You're only weak if you refuse to rise. Every day you have a choice to stay stuck in what happened or to build something better. Choose movement, choose effort, choose growth. Self-pity will tell you to wait until you're ready, but strength comes from acting before you feel ready. Don't underestimate the power of small steps. They're what turns suffering into structure and confusion into clarity. The pain you're carrying right now can either bury you or build you. The difference lies in what you do next. Replace self-pity with action. Replace blame with responsibility. Replace hopelessness with movement. Even when it's hard, even when no one's watching, keep moving. Because those small actions don't just change your situation, they change you. They turn pain into purpose, weakness into willpower, and effort into strength. And one day you'll look back and realize that the moment you stopped feeling sorry for yourself was the moment your real life finally began. Number 9, let your old excuses embarrass you enough to change. Excuses are comfortable lies we tell ourselves to avoid responsibility. They sound logical. They sound harmless, but they're poison to growth. Every time you make an excuse, you choose comfort over change. You choose short-term relief over long-term respect. You convince yourself that you'll start later or that it's not the right time, and you believe it because it protects you from discomfort. But deep down, you know those same excuses have kept you stuck for years. If you're honest, you can list every one of them. I don't have time. I'm too tired. I don't know how. I'll start next week. You've said them so often that they've become part of your story. The truth is, it's time for those excuses to embarrass you. It's time for you to look at them and feel frustrated enough to change. You can't grow while protecting the very habits that hold you back. You've repeated the same reasons for inaction so many times that they've started to sound reasonable. But when you look closer, they're nothing more than permission slips for laziness and fear. Every excuse has a purpose: to defend weakness. And every time you use one, you reinforce the idea that you can't handle more. That's why change feels so far away. You've made peace with the lies that limit you. Think about it. How many opportunities have you missed because of your excuses? How many times did you say, "I'll start when I have more time," only to waste that same time on distraction? How many times did you say, "I'm not ready," and a year later, you're still in the same place? It's not that life is unfair. It's that your excuses are. They rob you quietly. They convince you that progress is impossible when it's not. There's a point where you have to get tired of hearing yourself say the same things. The same phrases that kept you from growing last year are the same ones trying to follow you into this one. And at some point that has to bother you. You have to get so uncomfortable with your own excuses that they sound ridiculous. Because the truth is, they are. I don't have time means I don't want to make time. I'm tired means I'm undisciplined. I'll start next week means I don't respect my goals enough to start today. Once you start hearing the truth behind the words, you can't keep saying them without feeling something inside you shift. Excuses only exist because we care more about protecting our ego than facing our flaws. We don't want to admit that we've been lazy, inconsistent, or scared. So we cover it up with justification. We say, "It's not the right moment," or "I had no choice." But there's always a choice. You may not control everything that happens to you, but you always control how you respond. The people who succeed aren't the ones with perfect circumstances. They're the ones who stopped using excuses as shields. You can tell a lot about someone's future by how they talk about their past. People who blame everyone else are doomed to repeat it. People who take accountability, no matter how uncomfortable, change fast. If you want to evolve, start by owning your part in your own stagnation. Look at where you are and admit, "I created this." Not the world, not your boss, not your childhood. That admission isn't punishment, it's power. Because when you accept responsibility, you take back control. Let your old excuses embarrass you enough to want better. Think about how many times you've said, "This is my year," and then slipped into the same habits by February. Think about the moments when you promised yourself you'd stay consistent, only to quit when it got hard. That pattern should irritate you, not to bring shame, but to bring urgent. Change begins when the cost of staying the same becomes heavier than the effort to grow. You have to reach that point where you look at your own behavior and say, "I can't keep living like this." Excuses are emotional habits. You've practiced them so long that they come automatically. When things get tough, your mind looks for a way out. It wants comfort more than it wants progress. But the moment you start catching those thoughts and calling them out, you break the cycle. You start replacing excuses with action. You start replacing complaints with strategy. You stop feeling helpless because you realize the only thing holding you back was your own mindset. The uncomfortable truth is that no one really believes your excuses. Not even you. You might say them out loud, but inside there's a quiet voice that knows better. That voice knows you could have tried harder, that you could have been more disciplined, that you could have started earlier. That voice is your potential, reminding you that you're capable of more. But if you keep silencing it with justifications, it eventually stops speaking. That's when people lose their drive. They bury it under layers of excuses until they can't hear it anymore. You can bring it back by facing the embarrassment head on. Sit with the truth of your excuses. Say them out loud and listen to how weak they sound. "I can't work out because I'm busy." Really? You scroll for hours. "I can't learn a new skill because I'm tired." But you watch TV for 3. The moment you get brutally honest about what you're wasting, the shame turns into fuel. You start feeling disgusted with your own lies. And that's when you know you're ready for change. Because transformation doesn't start with motivation. It starts with honesty. You have to hold yourself to a higher standard than your feelings. Excuses always come from emotion. They come from fear, fatigue, and insecurity. You can't let temporary feelings make permanent decisions for your life. You need structure that doesn't depend on mood. You need a system that says, even when I don't feel like it, I'll do it anyway. Because success is built by people who act through discomfort, not those who wait for it to disappear. It's okay to feel disappointed in yourself. In fact, that's necessary. You can't fix what you don't acknowledge, but don't stay in disappointment. Use it. Let it push you to prove that you're capable of better. The same energy you spend defending your excuses could be used to create progress. Instead of saying, I can't, start asking, how can I? Instead of saying, it's hard, start saying, it's possible. That shift seems small, but it's powerful because the brain follows language. Change the way you speak to yourself and your actions will follow. Excuses can't survive in an environment of accountability. Surround yourself with people who don't let you lie to yourself. People who challenge you when you start slipping back into old habits. Growth thrives in honesty, not comfort. If everyone around you accepts your excuses, you'll never rise. Find people who make you uncomfortable in a good way because they expect more from you than you've been giving. Every time you think about quitting, every time you hear yourself making excuses, pause and imagine how it will feel to repeat this same cycle another year. Imagine looking back and realizing you wasted another 12 months explaining instead of executing. That thought alone should sting. That sting is awareness. Let it burn enough to drive you forward. Because pain can be a teacher if you stop using it as an excuse. The truth is simple. Your excuses won't disappear until you stop protecting them. You have to decide that you're done negotiating with weakness. You have to care more about progress than pride. You have to wake up and admit, my excuses have embarrassed me long enough. And then you act. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. The person you want to become is waiting on the other side of those same excuses you've been repeating for years. Stop defending them. Stop hiding behind them. Stop giving them power. Because the day you stop making excuses is the day you finally start making progress. And that moment when the truth hits hard enough to change you, that's when your real life begins.
Number 10, promise yourself that 2026 will not look like last year. There comes a moment when you have to look at your life and admit that repeating the same year over and over isn't growth, it's survival. You wake up, go through the same motions, think the same thoughts, make the same promises, and end the year wondering why nothing feels different. You say you want change, but you've been carrying the same habits, the same fears, the same excuses from one year into the next. At some point, you have to draw a line and say, this is it. I'm done reliving old versions of myself. You have to promise yourself that 2026 will not look like last year, and mean it. Not in words, but in decisions. Change doesn't start on a calendar. It starts in a mindset. Most people think a new year automatically brings transformation. But the truth is, nothing changes if you don't. The date won't save you. The motivation won't last. The environment won't magically align for you. The only thing that makes this year different is your decision to stop carrying your old patterns into it. You have to make a personal commitment, a non-negotiable promise, that this time you'll act differently, that this time you'll stop talking about change and start living it. If you're serious about it, the first thing you need to do is stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending last year was fine. It wasn't fine. You know it wasn't. You played small when you could have gone harder. You procrastinated when you could have executed. You settled when you should have demanded more from yourself. You let comfort talk you out of consistency. That's not failure, that's awareness. You can't fix what you don't admit. The real problem isn't that you failed. It's that you got comfortable with repeating failure until it felt normal. This year you have to stop being okay with mediocrity. Stop celebrating potential instead of progress. Potential means nothing if it's never used. You've been telling yourself that you could do great things, but when? Another year, another decade. Enough waiting. Promise yourself that this year you'll stop delaying growth. Promise that you'll stop making decisions from fear. Promise that you'll finally do the things you've been avoiding because they make you uncomfortable.
Change is supposed to be uncomfortable. Growth doesn't feel good at first. It feels unfamiliar. You'll want to fall back into your old routines. You'll miss the comfort of the same distractions, the same habits, the same easy excuses. But you have to remember that comfort was the very thing that trapped you last year. It gave you peace in the moment and regret in the long run. This year must be different. You have to choose growth over relief every single time. You owe it to yourself to break the cycle of almost starting, almost changing, almost believing. You've been almost for too long. You're not tired because life is unfair. You're tired because you've been stuck in hesitation. You've been living between who you are and who you could be. This year is not about perfection. It's about commitment. It's about showing up every day with full effort, even when no one claps for you, even when no one believes in you yet. Think about how many years you've promised yourself change, only to slide back into comfort by February. The pattern ends when you decide that disappointment is no longer acceptable. You have to make your old behavior embarrassing. You have to look at the version of yourself that made excuses and say, never again. That's how transformation starts, with disgust for your own limitation. You can't build strength while defending weakness. 2026 must be the year you start keeping promises to yourself, not the big ones you announce to the world, the quiet ones you whisper when no one's around. The promise to stop snoozing through opportunity. The promise to stop wasting energy on things that don't move you forward. The promise to do what's right even when it's not easy. Keeping those promises builds integrity, and integrity builds self-respect. You can't believe in yourself if you keep breaking your own word. You've got to look at your habits honestly. Every result you got last year was a reflection of them. Every frustration, every missed goal, every stagnant day came from the systems you built or didn't build. If you want this year to be different, you can't bring old routines into it. You can't build a new life with old behaviors. You have to dismantle what doesn't serve you. Identify the patterns that keep repeating and destroy them before they destroy your potential. Promise yourself that this year, you'll replace talk with action. No more waiting for motivation to show up. No more saying, I'll try. Trying isn't doing. Either you do it or you don't. Take responsibility for your choices, your energy, your outcomes. You can't blame anyone anymore. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're a product of your decision. And if those decisions were weak last year, this is your chance to strengthen them. You also need to redefine what success looks like. Last year, you measured progress by results. This year, measure it by effort. You may not control how fast things happen, but you control how much you show up. You can't guarantee instant results, but you can guarantee daily action. The person who stays consistent will always surpass the one who waits for perfect timing. Progress doesn't come in big leaps. It comes in small steps stacked on top of each other every single day. You don't need to rebuild your life overnight. You just need to build momentum. Wake up earlier than your comfort allows. Spend less time on things that drain you. Invest your time into habits that pay you back in clarity, energy, and confidence. The more small wins you create, the more unstoppable you become. The problem isn't that change is hard. It's that you've been too inconsistent to see what happens when you don't give up. Stop making this year a copy of the last one. Stop repeating the same days and calling it growth. Promise yourself that this time you'll choose structure over chaos. You'll choose progress over excuses. You'll choose discipline over distraction. You'll stop romanticizing your potential and start proving it. You've had enough practice surviving. It's time to start building. The future version of you is watching. A year from now, you'll either be proud or disappointed. You'll either say, I changed, or you'll say, I wasted another year. And the difference won't come from luck or timing. It'll come from the choices you make every day. Every decision you make is a vote for the person you'll become. Stop voting for the same results you hate. This year isn't about motivation. It's about standards. Motivation fades, standards don't. Set a standard that you no longer skip commitment. Set a standard that you stop giving effort only when it feels good. Set a standard that you don't settle for average, even when it's easy. Because once you raise your standard, your life rises to meet. Promise yourself that this year, you'll stop settling for potential and start demanding results. Promise that you'll stop waiting for support and start supporting yourself. Promise that when things get tough, you'll remember why you started instead of running back to comfort. Promise that this will be the year you stop surviving and start leading your own life with purpose. When December of 2026 arrives, you'll know if you kept this promise or not. You'll know if you lived differently, or if you repeated the same story. You can't lie to yourself then. The mirror doesn't care about words. It reflects truth. So make this promise now, and keep it with action. Because the only way to make 2026 different is to make yourself different. This is the year you stop waiting, stop wishing, and start building a life that feels like progress, not repetition. Promise yourself that when you look back, you'll see evidence of growth, strength, and discipline. Promise that 2026 will not look like last year, because this time, you didn't just talk about change, you became it. Before you close this video, stop for a second and be honest with yourself. Are you really gonna walk away and do nothing with what you just heard? Or are you finally ready to make the decision that changes everything? Because the truth is simple. No one's coming to save you. No one's gonna push you harder than you should be pushing yourself. You have two choices. Keep living as the same version of you, or build the one who deserves the life you keep imagining. Every day from now on, remind yourself, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to stop being the person who keeps holding back. The weak version of you has run the show long enough. It's time you take it back. If this message hits something inside you, don't let it fade. Save this video. Watch it again when you forget your power. Because your new life doesn't start tomorrow. It starts right now, with you.